UFOs are real, burgeoning, not going away. This is the coming Great Deception. It's happening. It's happening now. It's happening in real time. All media is covering it with the advent of Three Eye Atlas, and who knows what that is. Avi Loeb is on all media. We have The Age of Disclosure, the film. If you've not seen it, that's your homework. You need to watch that film. Anyway, folks, we'll be back talking about Steven Spielberg's new movie. You're going to want to see this. This is unbelievable. First, a word from our very trusted sponsor. As we wrap up 2025, it's a good time to slow down and reflect on the year. If there's one thing we've all learned, it's that uncertainty isn't temporary. It's the world we live in now. Waiting for things to go back to normal isn't a plan, it's a gamble. For over a decade, my friends at Noble Gold Investments have helped Americans just like you protect themselves and the people they love by diversifying their wealth with gold and silver. Look, nobody knows what 2026 will bring. One thing is for sure. In an uncertain world, real wealth isn't digital. It's physical, it's lasting, and it's yours. When you're sitting around the table this holiday season, surrounded by family, remember, the best gift you can give isn't under the tree. It's peace of mind. And that's what Noble Gold delivers, peace of mind. 1 ounce at a time. Before the year ends, take one smart step toward a safer future. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. Get your free wealth protection kit today. noblegoldinvestments.com. Don't leave the future to chance. Peggy and I have invested some of our money in Noble Gold, and I got to tell you, folks, we're really glad we did. However, as with any investment, there's always a risk. Please weigh the risks and carefully consider investing in Noble Gold. Once again, that's noblegoldinvestments.com, noblegoldinvestments.com. We invested, and I'm really glad we did. Thanks for coming, folks. I do a show every single day. John Adam, who does all the editing of these shows, and myself, we do a show every single day. So when you come here, prepare yourself because there's a new show. We're here 7 days a week, 365. Why? Because the Lord took us off the conference trail for the most part. We will be appearing at some very exclusive venues, but the one that we're going to in April is not a conference. It's more of a gathering of certain people at this one particular ministry. I won't mention any names. Obviously, we will be at the Prophecy Watchers Conference coming up in Colorado Springs. I'm one of the 12 or 13 speakers. It's an honor to be there, and I will be speaking probably twice, maybe 3 times. I don't know. If we're still here, who knows, right? The way things are going. But we are doing a conference on this. Deception2026.com, Deception2026.com. You'll hear from Gary Stearman, Maldo Gonzalez, Derek Gilbert, former abductee and author Karen Wilkinson, authors Alan DiDio, Vicky Jo Emerson, former abductee Al Matthews, Tim Alberino, Josh Peck, Larry Ragland, of course, I'll be speaking. And at the end on Saturday night, we'll be doing a Q&A. Tickets, it's a virtual conference, so everything's pre-recorded, virtual conference, but these speakers are cutting-edge stuff, and they are the creme de la creme, in my opinion. So you're going to want to check this out and go to deception2026.com, deception2026.com. Get your tickets. It's $19.99. Buy one for your pastor and exhort him to look at it. This is happening, folks. We're not making it up. All right, so Steven Spielberg's coming out with a new film. It'll be released in the summer. I'm going to walk you through it. Why now? Let's back up. So you got Avi Loeb talking about Three Eye Atlas. He's on all forms of media talking about a black swan event. Why would he say that? Talking about a possible Trojan horse. And, is it a nothing burger? I don't know. I've watched this and covered it. I think it's a nothing burger, but we don't know yet. Tomorrow's the 19th. I'm doing a pre-record on this. So you got Avi Loeb on all forms of media. Then you got Age of Disclosure, fantastic movie. I'm trying to get Dan Farr on the show. I've sent one email so far. I'll do it again. So far, no response. I would love to get him on the show and talk about the film. He sat down and he interviewed Marco Rubio. That in itself, the Secretary of State, stating on the record that we're not alone. That we're not alone. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? Nat Geo's January cover is exactly that. Are we alone? Asking the question. One-star Admiral Gallaudet states on the record, we are not alone. Luis Elizondo, we are not alone. Christopher Mello, we are not alone. How many times do we have to hear this? In the halls of Congress, your congressmen and congresswomen are standing up and saying, with witnesses and whistleblowers, obviously we're not alone. Something is going on. So here is the trailer from Steven Spielberg. I'm just going to run it all the way through first so you can see it in toto and toto 2, and then we will go back and dissect it. Here we go.
If you found out we were alone, if someone showed you, proved it to you, would that frighten you?
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look at... Let's... Today is... Today's...
People have a right to know the truth. It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You'll believe me if I told you. So I'm going to show you.
What are you gonna do?
Full disclosure to the whole world. All walks. People keep wondering. Encounter in the unknown. They are starved for the truth.
Do you think there could be others?
Why would he make such a vast universe? Yet save it only for us?
So that's a very unnerving trailer. It's a very unnerving trailer. It is the creme de la creme. You don't look. I'm a filmmaker. I've been involved in 33 films. I've directed over 20 of them. Co-directed all 10 of our UFO films with my business partner Gil Zimmerman. Richard Shaw was the director for the Watcher series, but I've been the host of 33 films. And I never started off to do this. I didn't go to film school. I learned by the seat of my pants. Thank you, Richard Shaw, who's no longer with us, passed away a few years ago. And now Gil Zimmerman and I are working. So I've been involved in 33 films and hosted all of them. All I can tell you is this film is a huge amount of dollars. It doesn't get any better than that. It really doesn't. We make a film, Gil and I joke about it. We make a film for between $10,000 and $30,000. So you imagine if we had a budget, what we could do, but I digress. I'm going to go through the film now, and I'm going to dissect it, or the trailer, I should say. I'm going to go through the trailer. Let's look at it. Let's see what's going on. Here we go.
If you found out we were alone, if someone...
So I'm going to roll that back. If you found out that we weren't alone, and here we've got the animals coming up. So already that's really unnerving. That's really spooky. More than likely AI generated, but who knows? I'm going to vote AI. So you've got all these deer. They're looking in the window. Something is going on here. And at the very end of that trailer, the little girl it's always a little girl, right? Or a little boy, walking with the animals. So what are we looking at here? And she poses the question, if you found out that we weren't alone, how would it make you feel? Well, instead of feel, how would it make you think, right? I don't care what I feel. My emotions can lie to me, but I can think and I can take everything and compare it to the Word of God. For those of you who are not Christians, when you hear that, oh, he's a religious fanatic. Okay, I'm a religious fanatic, so now what? Have you done your name calling? Keep going. Maybe I'm a racist too. So, or whatever. It's always a name calling. But, rather than feel, how about think? I would compare anything I see with the Word of God. Because we know that the Word of God has a thread of prophecy from Genesis to the book of Revelation, which calls out the beginning before the end and the end before the beginning with absolute specificity. Therefore, someone is outside space and time as we know it, because these prophecies are very, very specific, as I just mentioned, and they span thousands of years between authors, and yet there's no collusion. There is a God, and he is sovereign. Let's continue. So here we go.
If someone showed you, proved it to you,
Now I'm going to go back here, and I want to show you this. So right away, they're showing Jesus on the cross. So this has, in my opinion, a Catholic spin to it. As an evangelical, Jesus is not on the cross. So, I've got crosses in my studio here, and I get that. And the cross is the pivotal point of all of history, in my opinion. The birth of Jesus and then his death and resurrection. We have the film, Shameless Plug, on the Shroud of Turin. That's God's calling card. He left us forensic evidence of the greatest event in history. So you can see that they're going to spin it in a Catholic way. Why? Because the Catholics have the largest denomination. 1.2 billion people on the planet are professed Catholics. I am not a Catholic. I'm an evangelical. I don't take offense at the Catholic Church. Replacement theology, where the church now gets all the promises to Israel. The church and Israel are two separate deals. The church is the church. Israel is the Israel. The time of Jacob's trouble, the book of Revelation, deals with Jacob. That's Israel. Not Fred and Ernie. That's us. It deals with Israel. It's that 7-year tribulation period. And it deals the time of Jacob's trouble. And there it is. So if you are an unmillennialist, you don't believe in a literal 1,000-year reign, think again. Jesus is coming back. His feet will touch the Mount of Olives. It will split in half. They, the Jews, will look on him whom they have pierced and mourn for him as an only son. That's prophecy. I'm not making this up. That's prophecy. It's in the biblical prophetic narrative. So if you don't like that, don't take it up with me. Take it up with the author of the book. So let's continue and see where this goes.
Good morning, Kansas City. Let's take a look. Let's is today's
Right there, that's possession. Now, there's no way around that. You can tap dance around that, do the Texas two-step. You can say it's not, but that's possession. She no longer is in possession of her faculties. So this entity, whatever this entity is, and I can't wait to watch the movie because we'll find out what the entity is, somehow has possessed her. The question is how? Did she allow it in? There's a well-known gentleman out there, and he's welcome to come on my show anytime and cross swords. And he is promulgating the idea that we can meditate and bring these guys in, bring these so-called extraterrestrials in, that they are benevolent. Well, my first query to him is, well, what about the cattle mutilation? So don't tell me it's all by the government, because we know it's not. What about the abduction phenomenon? We've got books on this by Kara Wilkinson. She's one of our speakers at the conference, along with Al Matthews. It's Daniel 2:43. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. So she is being possessed by something. All right? And I'm going to roll it back so you can hear her voice completely change. Check this out. Here we go. And notice it goes right to the Catholic viewpoint. So now, maybe there are evangelicals in the film, I don't know. But there is a group of nuns, and they all have rosaries. As an evangelical, we don't do repetitious prayers. If someone was talking to you, and they said the same thing over and over and over again, what would you do? You'd get up and leave the room. And it says in the biblical prophetic narrative that don't use repetitious prayer like the heathen do. It's right in the New Testament. It's right there. Don't use repetitious prayer. When I go to the Lord, when I talk to the Lord, I'm talking to him. Father, I lay my petition before him. Help us with our films. Lord, direct my steps. Show me what you want me to do. Speak to me, Lord. Speak to my heart. Speak to me through your word. So you can see that they're already spinning this thing within a certain theological framework. Folks, I've been banging this drum for 30 years. For 30 years, I've written numerous books on it. We've got 10 films on the whole UFO phenomena. So I've been warning against this. I have labeled it The Coming Great Deception. It's actually in the very first book that was penned that I penned way back in 1998. So we're coming up on the 30, well, it's a couple of years away, but it's almost 30 years. And that term, the coming great deception, is found in that book. Nephilim, the truth is here. Let's continue.
People have a right to know the truth.
People have a right to know the truth. We do have a right to know the truth, but what truth are we going to hear? Whose truth will we hear? We have been visited for thousands of years. I'm quoting Derek Gilbert in our film, What is the Truth, number 9 and 10, in the 10-box DVD set that Gil Zimmerman and I created. Derek says, we've been visited for thousands of years by them, by these guys. Native Americans, First Nation people, called them the sky gods, and rightfully so, because that's exactly what they are. But they're not from Zeta Reticuli, and they're gods with little g's. They're the fallen angels with a very nefarious agenda. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. Daniel 2:43. How many times have I said that? Because that book was sealed up until the time of the end. We are in the time of the end. Men and women running to and fro over the face of the earth, knowledge increases exponentially. And now with AI, did anybody see that? You tell me. So you can see here, everybody's, lighting up with their cell phones. They're all looking at something. We're not showing what it is, but let's continue.
It belongs to 7 billion people.
What is it?
You won't believe it if I told you. So I'm going to show you.
There are the birds. So the bird theme comes back again here, right there. See the birds? It's like I forget what they call those things. A mobile. Yeah, it's a mobile. There are the birds.
What are you going to do?
Full disclosure. To the whole world. All at once.
Full disclosure to the whole world all at once. And it's going to happen. And the reason why we are doing it sounds like a shameless plug, but it's not. Turn it off if you think that I'm fooling around here, because I'm not. It's here, it's happening, and it's now. If Donald Trump, our president, stands up and says, we are not alone, if Pope Leo joins him in tandem, we are not alone, we've been visited, it's okay, they're benevolent. If 3 or 4 or 6 or a dozen world leaders come on the camera and say the same thing, how does that affect you? It's going to affect you, it's going to affect the church. Will this tie into my interpretation of 2 Thessalonians, that the day of the Lord will not happen until the apostasia, until the great falling away? What is a great falling away? There's an article, it's not out yet, but it will be. I wrote the article, it's in our pp&s news magazine for December, but it comes out in the Prophecy Watchers magazine. I believe it might be the cover in January. There are 4 positions one can hold to the 2 Thessalonian chapter 2. And it's basically this, that in this is what I wrote. In 2 Thessalonians, let me just see if it's up here. Okay. The apostasy refers to a falling away or a great rebellion, which is widely interpreted as a large-scale departure from the Christian faith. That's what I believe. While interpretations vary, it is often seen as a defection from doctrinal truth, the rise of a specific figure called the man of lawlessness, i.e. the Antichrist, and the abomination of desolation, as described in the Bible. Some view it as a spiritual departure, while others see it as a physical departure or rapture, a spiritual rebellion. The most common view is that the apostasy or the apostasia is a mass rejection of God's truth by professing Christians and the world at large. What would cause that? Right here? That's what's going to do it. When they reveal themselves, that's the game changer, and we are being set up for it. I mean, seriously, we are being set up for it. This falling away will involve people turning away from the faith, following false prophets, and having their love for God grow cold. The man of lawlessness, the interpretation connects the apostasy directly to the man of lawlessness, who will appear and claim divine honors. He is seen as the central figure of this rebellion, leading the apostasy. A physical departure, this is where some people believe that is a physical departure, suggesting it refers to the rapture. The fourth, a Jewish apostasy. Some scholars suggest a more specific Jewish context within this. So I believe that this is a departure from the faith. Let's continue. Now, right there's a crop circle being made. He's standing in a field of wheat, and a crop circle is being made. More than likely, this is AI. And notice the way the crop is put down. We actually have a film on this that Gil Zimmerman and I did. We feature Francisco Carrera, who's the head of Exopolitics Portugal. We were in the Crop Circle Museum at Avebury. We were there along with Hugh Newman, and we filmed, and that made it into our film on the crop circles. And we're the only Christian. Look, I'm boasting here, but we're it. We're the only Christian ministry. There's 10 films. Close Encounters of the First, Second, Third, and Fourth Kind. What is the truth? Where I sat down with Francisco Carrera and also Preston Dennett. They're on the other side of the aisle, and we cross swords in a great way. And then the abduction phenomena. 4 people. Al Matthews, taken numerous times. Emil Jurek, taken numerous times. Karen Wilkinson, who wrote the book Stolen Seed, Evil Harvest. It's right here. It's on my desk. Karen Wilkinson, Stolen Seed, Evil Harvest. She'll be speaking at the Deception2026.com conference. She'll be there. She'll be there. Counter mutilations. The darkest film I've ever worked on, because you're in Hell's Kitchen and there's no release to it. 2 films on Roswell. We found a piece of metal in the debris field. Right there. Right there. Finally, what is the truth? Where we sit down with people like George Norrie, Nick Pope, Nick Redfern, and others on that side of the aisle. Ours, Gary Stearman, Maldo Gonzalez, Gonzo, Derek Gilbert, Josh Peck. All we present our view of what's going on. And the crop circles, folks, in our film, we picked a crop circle that was created in 8 and corn that was 8 feet tall. You can't create a crop circle. You can do this with the string and the boards and tamp it down in a field of wheat. I get that. But you can't create a crop circle in corn that's 8 feet tall. And that's why we chose it. And it was right in Ohio. And it was a month before the conference, the Nephilim Mounds Conference, the first one that we ever did. Think about that. They sent a signal. And the formations are called dragon heads. Let's continue.
People keep wondering. Encountering you now.
So watch what happens here. She's bilocating, and I'm not sure the context of this. So look at the woman. He's behind her, right? He's behind her. Watch what happens. And there she is. And then just like that, she changes. She's jumped through space and time. They are starved for the truth. We are starved for the truth. We are. But what is the truth? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Oh, Ella, you're a religious fanatic. You bet I am. Because that is the truth. When I was 5 years old, I dragged my Bible, my grandfather's Bible. It was a Sunday afternoon. They're all my relatives are sat at this long table. Grandfather's at one end, the parish priest is at the other. Spaghetti's going like crazy. The wine's being passed around, the Marzulli, the whole 9 yards. The salad, my grandmother's, it's this whole Italian family. And I dragged my grandfather's hassock and I put out it. So the dining room is here. There was like this area between the dining room and the living room, a vestibule, and then the staircase. So it was like this no furniture there. And it was probably, I'm going to guess, 14 by 20. So it was a good sized room. And off to one side is the dining room, the other side is the living room. I take the hassock from the living room. I put that down. And what's he doing? What's he doing? 5 years old. I dragged the Bible and put it on I couldn't read. And I delivered the first sermon. And that was, what is the truth? And I said, what is the truth? What is the truth at 5 years old? It was a foreshadow of what I would become much later in life, after a very circuitous and sinful route to where I am now. So all glory to the King. All glory to the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Well, what is the truth? Are we being visited by so-called extraterrestrials, or are these interdimensional entities with a very nefarious agenda? Read Karen Wilkinson's book, Stolen Seed, Evil Harvest. Watch the 4 people in our abduction film. Watch the counter mutilation film. Pray up before you watch it. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind. It's all there. We're the only Christian ministry. I know, so I'm Marzulli, get off your high horse. I'm not boasting, folks. I'm trying to get the word out. We've done the work. The Lord had Gil and I work feverishly We did 10 films, and I think a year and a half. That's unprecedented. That's unprecedented. And it's just the two of us, along with Jim Peterson, our sound guy. So this, in the film, this character is saying that people have the right to the truth. We do have the right for the truth. We do have the right to know the truth, I should say. And the truth is there, but it's been rejected. Just like 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 tells us. Let's go. Let's continue.
Do you think there could be others? Why would he make such a vast universe?
Why would he make such a vast... Notice that's the nun saying it. I'm going to roll that back. And notice the deer is now in her bedroom with the little red cardinal bird. Creepy, right? And see above her, there's the mobile with the birds. And here's the deer coming into the room. So here we go.
A vast universe. Except, why would he make such a vast universe? Yet save it only for us?
Only for us. So there's your straw man argument. Just because there are trillions of galaxies out there doesn't mean that God created life forms on them. You're assuming that he did. The New Jerusalem comes here. Jesus comes back here. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. All things, the entire universe, were created by him. And without him was not made anything that was made. Now, you can believe that, or you can call me crazy. But when he was here, he demonstrated it over and over. He demonstrated his mastery over the natural world. He's out there, and there's a storm raging around him. He says, what? 2 words, be still, be calm, be still. Just like that. The winds don't start dying down slowly. It's boom, done. Just like that. 10 lepers, be healed. All the lepers get healed. Open your eyes. The guy's born blind, no eyes. Boom, there it is. Here, raises Lazarus from the dead after 3 days. Lazarus, come forth. Not sweating it. So he demonstrates, and then he's casting out the demons, come out with Mary Magdalene, right? He demonstrates his power over the natural world, be still with the storm. He demonstrates his power over the demonic, right? Remember when he comes down off of Mount Hermon, where the transfiguration is taking place? That's where I believe it took place. And he's coming down, and there's a boy who's demon-possessed. Come out! So he demonstrates his power over the demonic. And then he demonstrates his power over basically everything. Over the natural world, over the spiritual world, and over when he feeds the 5,000. When he changes water to wine, he's showing his complete power, his ability to just at a moment. He's not sweating it. And we've got the Gospels. You can believe that that's nonsense, or you can understand that when he was here, everything changed, and he's coming back. And when he comes back, everything will change. But before then, the world goes through the time of Jacob's trouble. The church, we go up. So now the little girl is there with animals, the deer, obviously. To the right, it looks like a raccoon. To the left, it looks like a fox. So the curse between the animal kingdom in this film has been, the curse is broken. The curse is healed. See where this is going? See you got to understand the implications. This is huge. So already the nun is telling us, surely he would have created other life here. That's a straw man argument. You don't know. There's no proof of that. I get it. There's trillions of galaxies. So what? So what? That doesn't mean it's a straw man argument. That doesn't mean anything. The New Jerusalem comes here. Jesus returns here. After the 1,000 years, when he makes the heavens, when he restores everything, will we go out and maybe create life, or go in as a new Adam and a new Eve on another planet? I don't know. We're in a glorified body. I have no idea. We have eternity. Who knows? Just don't limit your thinking. Anything's possible after the millennium. When we're in glorified bodies, we're immortal. Does he send this out to populate and do the same thing? But not like Adam and Eve. There's no fall. Now we're just rejoicing and creating. So it's coming out. I will watch it. Absolutely. We need to. But this is what they're promulgating. And even in that little short, clip, it's 2 minutes and 5 seconds, 2 minutes and 6 seconds, right? And I just dissected it for you. They are promulgating a certain narrative. There is no doubt about that. Folks, we have a virtual conference coming. It is cheap, $19.99. Why is it priced that way? Everybody can watch it, no excuses. For the price of 2 or 3 cups of coffee at Starbucks, you can watch it. And there's 10 authors, 10 people. All of them have written. Gary Stearman, Mondo Gonzalez, Derek Gilbert. Abductee and author Karen Wilkinson. Authors Ellen DiDio, Vicky Joy Anderson. Former abductee Al Matthews, Tim Alberino, Josh Peck, Larry Ragland, and yours truly. Everyone has written about and talked about the subject. Go to deception2026.com. Deception2026.com. It starts Friday night, January 16th at around 5 o'clock. It'll probably go to 9 or 10 o'clock that night. I will be showing 2 movies, number 4 on abductions, and finally, What is the Truth? So you're getting two films and then 10 speakers. It's a virtual conference. You don't have to go anywhere. You'll get the link. You can watch it, and you can watch it up to 3 months. Invite your friends over. If you're a church, if you're a pastor, we have deals. So $300 you can get. Just go there, you'll see it. So we have deals. It's time to get the word out. It's time to wake up the church for those who want to be awakened. Because, folks, I'll end with this. When it happens, it's too late. And it's already happening. And for the most part, the church is asleep. I'm part of a church. I love the church. For those pastors who are trying to wake up their congregation, we have 10 films. We have the book, Runs of Disclosure. It's all there. And now the conference coming up. Anyway, folks, I'll be back again tomorrow with yet another installment right here, another show. Thanks for watching. Consider becoming a member. You get 10% off at everything in the store. You get members-only content. And, of course, you get our incredible monthly news magazine by our editor-in-chief, Sonda Allison. She's incredible. Anyway, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. God bless you. Put on the armor of God and keep looking up. As Gary Stearman would say, we are. Folks, L.A. Marzulli here. What happens if our President Donald J. Trump makes an announcement from the White House? He looks right at the camera and he says, "We are not alone in the universe." How does that affect you? How does that affect your faith? How does that affect what you believe in? Folks, we have the answers that will shed light on this controversial subject. The Great UFO Deception Conference, Unmasking the Strong Delusion, January 16th and 17th. You'll hear from renowned experts like Gary Stearman, Mondo Gonzalez, Derek Gilbert, former abductee and author Karen Wilkinson, authors Alan DiDio, Vicky Joy Emerson, former abductee Al Matthews, Jim Alberino, Josh Peck, Larry Ragger, and of course, L.A. Marzulli. Arm yourself with the truth from a biblical perspective. Go to www.deception2026.com. That's www.deception2026.com. I'll see you there.